How hard is it to play online poker professionally in 2022? From the outside looking in, poker can be very misleading and also very confusing. On one side, you'll see people having $1 million scores, which seems like it happens almost overnight. And you're like, oh, I want to be that guy getting rich instantly off poker. On the other side, you'll hear people saying the online games are unbeatable, you can't make money there now, don't touch it. Right? Neither of those are even close to representing what poker looks like in 2022. So this video is to distill the real climate. I want to give you guys some realistic expectations if you're getting into poker, if you're thinking about pursuing a career in poker, what you can actually expect and what will be required for you to make it work. Now, there's some good news and some bad news. The bad news is poker right now, online poker in particular, is as hard as it's ever been. The good news is it's as easy as it's ever going to get. And myself, as a performance coach for poker players, I'm currently working with over 100 players who are beating the games right now. All right, there's thousands and thousands of players who are making great money playing online poker professionally right now in 2022. Not in 2010, not in 2006. Right now, there's still a very professional world where people are making lots of money. However, it takes a dedication to your craft in order to do that. So this video is going to be mapping out the expectations of being an online poker player, a professional poker player, and what you can expect. All right. So years 1 and 2 are all about learning how to learn poker. All right. The first few years, in all honesty, you're not going to make much. You will hopefully survive that period. It's a survival period where you make enough money to pay the bills, support yourself. A lot of players the first few years will have part-time jobs in order to fund their living costs, or they'll have very low living costs in order to be able to keep playing. All right. And the whole goal is, how do I get good at this game? No matter who you are, no matter how much you play with friends, no matter how much experience you think you have, your first few years online, years 1 and 2, you will suck at poker. All right, no offense, but you will. And you need to get out the way of your ego. You need to not think you're good. You need to gain experience by playing. I need to learn how to get good at poker. You need to learn how to learn. All right, this current age, you've got lots of solvers, lots of tools that you can use to get better quicker, but it's an initiation. So treat years 1 and 2 as the apprenticeship. The apprenticeship phase where you just learn how to get good at it. Your biggest obstacles are your bankroll, because you're not going to have much of it and you need to be careful with it. If you've got part-time income, you can obviously substitute it, but if poker is your only source of income, you've got to be really, really careful not to go broke. Myself, when I started poker back in 2011, when the games were a lot easier, I basically went to Thailand with friends to play, and we literally had no return flight. So if things went badly, I was going back home. And there was 2 times I almost went broke, and if I had have gone broke, I literally would have flew back to England and got a job. That was it, got a job, and the whole dream was over. So I was very careful not to go broke. Bankroll management and not pushing above my means, because I didn't have any side income, any part-time job. So if poker went badly, that was it, game over. So if you're in that situation, you've really got to take bankroll management into account and gain experience and learn how to learn. All right, so the first 2 years, that's what it's all about. In the first 2 years, you can beat the games and you can make profit. All right, so it's not like you make nothing, but just covering your living costs would be a real good success from those, especially year 1. By year 2, you might be able to make a small amount of profits that can go to building your bankroll. Then you transition into years 3 and 4. All right, and this is all about getting good and going pro. Now, you might have went pro on day 1, so if you're someone who just, like me, jumped into the thick end and deep end sort of thing and went pro on your first day of playing, then you're already in that kind of framework. But going pro more means your attitude towards poker. You start committing more of your time to poker, more of your energy. You start learning how to optimize your days, study properly, find your right tribe of people, your right community who's going to help you, support you. You learn how to get really, really good at your format, for whatever format you're playing at that time, and start to become one of the good players at your game. And at this stage, years 3 and 4, you can really start to build a bankroll. All right, I've worked with literally hundreds and hundreds of players who generally around the year 3 and 4, that's the turning point where you can actually start to make 5 figures a month. You can start to have regular, real good income that changes your lifestyle. All right, so for me, I remember my first 5-figure month, and all of a sudden my bankroll, I had 5 figures in the bank, and then I was like, oh, wait a second, you can start working towards having 6 figures and start to create some freedom. Your lifestyle starts to get better. All right, so you can start to get some breathing space. But this is on the pretense that you get very good at your game. You become a really good player at the format you're playing. All right, so now you're optimizing your study approaches and you're playing a lot of volume. You're playing a lot. Just did a podcast interview with Patrick Leonard, who goes by the online name Pads1161, and he's currently the #1 online MTT player in the world via Pocket 5's rankings. And his advice is, you've got to put in volume. You've got to gain experience through playing, repetition. There is no shortcut. All right, so years 3 and 4, it's about getting good at your game and putting in good volume to build your bankroll. All right, and then if you do that job well and you get very good, years 5 plus, I say 5 plus because it's kind of an ongoing scaling, is about mastery. Mastering your craft. In almost every high stakes player I've spoken with, and I probably spoke with over 50 players who are at the very, very high stakes of their format, every one of them takes around 5+ years to get to the top. To get to being one of the top, say 10, 15, 20 players in their format, where now they're playing for the life-changing money. Now they're playing for the houses, the cars, the real big wins. But that's like 5+ years into their craft, and often longer. Some take 6, 7, 8, and they've dedicated themselves, and they've learned the game at a really, really high level. All right, so is poker beatable? Yes, very, very much so in 2022. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard, but it's not going to get any easier. There's still thousands and thousands of players beating the game. And when you think about how hard something is, that's quite subjective, but at the same time, it's also a byproduct of how much time you need to put into it and how competitive it is. All right, so if you look at something like chess is infinitely harder in poker just because it takes like 10+ years to get really, really, really good at it. And even when you do, and you get a grandmaster level, there's lots of other people who are also very, very good. Poker, you can start getting good in the first 2 years. You can start making money by year 3, and for year 4, you can start making life-changing money by your 3rd, 4th year if you apply yourself. Now, this is not to say that if you do start poker today or you get in the path, it's going to be easy. It's not. It's a very, very difficult, challenging occupation, but it's also very beatable. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I produce 2 videos a week helping poker players to build a stronger mindset and level up their performance habits to make more money at the poker tables. All right, guys, that's all for me. See you in the next video.